Now, as the economy crumbles under the weight of coronavirus restrictions, thousands of tourism industry professionals are convening in Jerusalem to protest the government's failure to protect them. Well, joining us now with the details of their demands is Anat Harrel, an Israeli tour guide who's coming to us immediately after the demonstrations. Anat, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, you're the first guest we've had in here since all these lockdowns have happened. I'm honored too. But now, how has the coronavirus affected your business in particular?
Well, I am an Israel tour guide, and my last tour group was in February. Wow. The middle of February, I spent about 8 days with a lovely family, and we started to hear that things were closing down, When they left and went back to the States, towards the end of February, my March groups were canceled, my April groups were canceled, my May groups, and June, everything's been canceled.
Are you typically booked, 6 months ahead like that?
Oh, yeah,
and they're all just indefinitely
gone. I have not made a penny since March 1st.
Wow. And so now what are you expecting from the government, from the Treasury ministries?
Well, what we want, actually, is to be treated like any other unemployed person to get unemployment benefits. I lucked out. I do not own a touring car. And so I actually got some unemployment benefits from the government, but there are many tour guides, those who are doing better or who did better, they actually own their touring cars, and they, for some weird reason, don't get unemployment. So there are thousands of tour guides who have not gotten a shekel from the government since March.
And this is really just like an oversight in the language of the...
It's something that happened in the 1980s, and some of us fit under one criteria, and some of us fit into another.
So it's not even necessarily to do with the recent guidelines. Wow.
Correct.
All right. So, is there a way that you can get back to work as usual and still keep with health ministry guidelines?
Not at the moment, because at the moment, when a tourist arrives in Israel, they have to stay in isolation for 14 days.
Of course.
No one is going to do that. So right now, we are at zero tourists, zero work, nothing. Some of the tour guides are trying to get a little bit creative and maybe doing some virtual tours on Zoom and this. But that is not going to replace actual physical rocking the steps of Jesus or visiting the Western Wall, or, it's not going to replace that.
How, because we know that some flights are going to start hopefully returning within the next few weeks. We know that Israel is kind of joining with select other countries with really low COVID rates.
Yes.
How soon do you think foreign tourism will return to Israel?
Oh, if I knew that, I'd make $1 million. But no, see, nobody knows. I just, at the protest, I was talking to one of the managers of one of the boutique hotels in Israel. She says they're opening on July 1st. I said, do you really think you're going to have incoming tourism? She says, no, but we'll see. Maybe by then, maybe by then.
Plan for the best, in a way.
The problem is, it's such an unknown, we don't know. We don't really know.
All right, so now you mentioned virtual tours, virtual tourism, and things like that. Do you think that that's going to be the future for the next foreseeable future, for the next year or two at least?
No, I don't think so. Virtual tours don't do justice to tourism. It is a taste of this and a taste of that. It's fine to entice them to come, but we need tourists to come to Israel. Tel Aviv was #2 on TripAdvisor's destination last year, and it is a culinary destination and a wine tour destination, and come on, this is the birthplace of Christianity and so forth. So we need tourists to come back, hopefully, because we are opening up more and more. What we want, what us tour guides want, is we want the government to help us out. We need them to address the crisis by creating a plan, a government-sponsored and financed plan of action. But we need them to work with us, because right now what's happening, they're working with El Al Airlines, which is amazing. They're working with the very large hotels, which is fine, and the very large tour operators. But us, the small business, the small tour guides, the boutique hotels, the culinary, the graffiti tours, the Jeep tours, we want to be at the table in order to create a plan of recovery.
All right, well, final message, anything you have to say to all the people watching abroad?
Yes. All of you watching, we have masks. We want you to come back to Israel. We're opening up, and hopefully come sooner than later, especially the small groups, the families. We are here, and we would love to welcome you back to Israel.
Anat, is an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much.